healthy through the National Health Insurance Scheme.
It's lovely. Good morning. Welcome to Prime Television Morning News at 6:30 hours. We take a look at the headlines. ECL's move to open private hotel baffles Kabwe residents. Kambwili senses impropriety in Ndola houses demolition. In international news, Sudan military and opposition agreed to a transitional deal. And in sports news, 25 local players summoned to camp ahead of a CHAN engagement. To join us with the details after this message.
Do your gums hurt?
Yeah.
Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile?
All that in one toothpaste?
Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums.
Ah, Colgate Herbal.
Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
With the details this morning, my name is Luanda Bigiri Cheka. National Democratic Congress NDC President Dr. Chishimba Kambwili has described as heartless for Ndola City Council to demolish already built houses. Kambwili says the council should have found better ways of regularizing the settlement than demolishing the structures in the manner the council did on Thursday, July 4th, 2019. He wonders why the very council whose officials permitted the construction of the houses can turn around and demolish on pretext of following instructions. We have the details in this report.
Ndola Mayor Amon Chisenga and his town clerk Wisdom Walia had all the time to witness the massive demolition of structures on the banks of Kafuba River in Ndola. Though other officers were conducting the exercise, the two senior council officials could not avoid witnessing this exercise, which has shocked National Democratic Congress leader Chishimba Kambwili.
That mayor, Chisenga, who was in the forefront demolishing houses for people there, was in the forefront, and other council employees to give land to those same people that they demolished their properties. But that aside, we need to have a human face. We need to have a human face. When I was in government, we agreed that there is no way you are going to demolish people after people have completed the houses. Because if you are talking about illegal land, you must be aware from the time that they start building. Surely you make people build up to window level, roof the houses, then you go and demolish.
Mbili appeals to President Edgar Lungu to stop such demolitions.
What has come up, Kanshi? What is happening with PF? Bonse abena chomba who are today coming demolishing houses abena Chisenga bali ku Heritage Party. Chomba tatwaishwa no kwafuma. Aishile isafe when we were just about to form government in 2011. Today you start demolishing houses. The area in Chipulukusu and Minsundu, I'm told people have been there for over 40 years. And Bishop Chomba, today you can go and you call yourself a man of God to go and demolish houses for the people. Leave the poor people alone. After all, most of those plots were given to them by councillors. And most of them have even got papers. I plead with you, President Edgar Lungu, have mercy on the poor. Have mercy on the poor. Stop that demolition and that 48 hours that Bishop Chomba has given the people in Misundu and in Chipulugusu. Please don't dare demolish the houses for those poor people. Abantu bale chula. Lesa wesu ikila mu mitima ya filwanifi. Fileko kuchusha abantu.
Meanwhile, the NDC leader has observed that some structures belonging to some councillors and the mayor remained untouched.
Most of the councillors have houses there, and their houses were not demolished. including the mayor himself, has got a plot there. His house was not demolished. Those are the ones that were saying, no, we got 10 hectares and gave out. They gave themselves. But they go and demolish for the ordinary people. Yesterday, my heart bled when I saw that front-end loader doing what it was doing. I want to appeal to President Edgar Lungu. But President, kwaten ko lusekubantu. Kwaten ko lusekubantu.
Council documents permitting the construction of the demolished structures could not make sense in the eyes of Mayor Chisenga and Town Clerk Bwalia, who vowed to put their political careers online for this land. In his own confession, Chisenga admits government officers were involved in the allocation of plots and subsequent construction.
Yes, they used officers, but even if they used officers, what they were doing is criminal.
If the developers did approach legal government institutions and have documentation to that effect, what powers is Mayor Chisenga and his town clerk using in bringing down the structures? Mwapek Mwenda, Prime TV News.
Transport and Communications Minister Brian Mushimba says government is relooking at the concession agreement between Intelligence Mobility Unit and Road Transport and Safety Agency to address concerns raised. The agreement on road safety has long been suspected to be shrouded in corruption, an observation made by stakeholders. However, Mushimba says and has urged stakeholders to provide evidence which he says will help government take appropriate action. He was speaking in Parliament Friday morning. Alexander Msokotwane has the details in this report.
In the year 2017, the government of the Republic of Zambia, through the Road Transport and Safety Agency RATSA, signed a public-private partnership concession agreement with Intelligent Mobility Solutions IMS for the implementation of the Road Safety Management System. Subsequently, in February 2018, IMS and RATSA unveiled the Road Safety Management System with the goal of saving lives on Zambian roads. The agreement saw the country witness the installation of speed cameras on major roads in the country. Whispers of corruption soon dominated the first ever agreement for the road sector. The discussion has found itself in Parliament as Minister in charge of Transport, Brian Mushimba, answered all concerns surrounding the installation of speed cameras.
The project is a public-private partnership, PPP project, between the government and IMS. The financing model being used is a build, operate, and transfer model, where the financing of the project is solely being done by IMS, the concessionaire. Government shall not make any contribution to the financing of the project.
Members of Parliament Friday morning queried the minister on a number of concerns surrounding the agreement.
Why is it that sometimes the people who plant those cameras are not even paid? So meanwhile, the money goes into the 99 control account. Why is it so?
For example, when they breach the speed limit, do those fines contribute to the revenues that are used to compensate the consortium company?
The minister has revealed that government is currently relooking at the agreement and possible amendments are likely to be made.
When we signed this concession agreement, I had spoken about this here in this house, that the ministry, which supervises RATSA, had some concerns on the concession agreement. And as government, through my ministry, we put that concession agreement and we studied it to try and address the concerns and align it legally and to other government protocols and provision.
The ministers further stated that if corruption is associated in the implementation of the agreement, government would take appropriate action. Alexander Musokotwane, Prime TV News in Lusaka.
The Zambia National Farmers Union ZNAFU says the 110 crop marketing price announced by the Food Reserve Agency for the 2018-2019 season is not what was agreed with the Ministry of Agriculture. ZNAFU Media and Public Relations Manager Calvin Kalei says the 110 FRA has announced is nowhere near the range recommended by the stakeholders of 130 to 140 per 50 kilogram bag of white maize based on prevailing market price indications. Mr. Kalei says regrettably the FRA price of 110 per 50 kilogram bag is far below the current maize prices being offered in the main producing areas such as central and eastern provinces. FRA Friday morning announced 110 as the crop marketing floor price for the 2018-2019 season from the 75 kwacha for the 2017-2018 season. FRA Board Chairperson Jos Majela also said despite the low production in the southern, western and parts of Lusaka provinces, the country is still food secured.
During the 2018 and 2019 agriculture season, the country experienced prolonged dry spells between January 2019 and March 2019, which affected southern, western and western parts of Lusaka and of the country and the central provinces. The prolonged dry spells have had a negative impact on the production of most crops. In the case of the maize, which is our staple crop, production is forecast this year to decrease to 2,489 metric tons from the 2,394 metric tons produced last season. This basically represents a decline in production of about 16%. As alluded to, the reduction in the crop production that occurred in the recent year may not be coincidental, but partially attributed to the global climate changes taking place and the effects of which have future impacts on food production, crop yields, food prices, food safety, and indeed the food security of the country and the region, and indeed globally. You may wish to know that as at 27th June, the national average, and this is national, grain moisture content reading was at 14.17%. It's now my pleasure to announce the prices that the FRA will be purchasing during the 2019 crop marketing season. White maize, 110 kwacha for a 50 kg bag. Soya beans, 150 kwacha for a 50 kg bag. Paddy rice, 70 kwacha for a 40 kg bag. Please note, and I repeat, that these are not floor prices, but rather FRA prices under the principle of willing seller and willing buyer. I think this is where I would like to assure the nation that the country is food secure, and I think this will be one of the central concerns coming from the press. And the country will continue to be food secure for the next foreseeable future. As a clear sign of commitment and government's desire to promote and develop agriculture, an initial amount of 74.4 million kwacha for farmer payment on first-come, first-served basis has been made available, and FRA has disbursed to the various districts farmer paying financial institutions in readiness for payment to farmers who will deliver the crop to our depots upon meeting the necessary documentation and security.
Some Solwezi youths have bemoaned the high levels of unemployment in the area, stating that some investors in the district have prioritized foreigners at the expense of the other locals. The youths, who were found drinking beer as early as 6 in the morning, have told Prime TV News that they have nothing to do and feel neglected by their leaders and now see no need for voting. Here's a report.
It is almost 6 a.m. in Solwezi district of Northwestern Province. Ideally, one should be preparing for a productive day, but for these youths who claim to have nothing to do, have resorted to be at the bar as they claim to have no jobs and that they are neglected by their leaders.
I don't believe in the government because I work on my own. Reason why? Because there's too much corruption, for you to have a job, unless when you have someone who's working in the government.
What I can say, there's one way. If I had something to do positive, it would have been here. No? The reason being, ask the youths. We don't talk about the youth. If we have been given employment, as the youth see, what been found here at Sangapanwao. Now, there's only been that there's no employment. Yeah, but under Tuxuro is Kuno. Echo employment, Sanai, compared to some other provinces, Mozambique, Northwestern, what you more employment, figure, but look, French Kakuno. People,
it is the most employable place, but the most poorest and
they are developing some other provinces or districts. Look at Solez,
as benefiting, we are not benefiting in anything. And as for youth empowerment, I think the government is not really considering us as youths, as people who can bring development to this country. It's like we've been neglected, whereby us as youths, there's nothing for us. Whether you've got your degrees, you've got your diplomas, you've got what, there's nothing for you.
The youths who have since vowed not to continue voting have also expressed disappointment that the campaigns in the district are prioritizing the foreigners at the expense of the locals.
Factor which is affecting us, Zambia, what's why good for my youth? What to say into
corruption.
What did Peter number? I go, but you pay 2.5 or you pay 3 penny. That's
why I can't even waste my time to cast a vote.
But it's like but you don't know when to food. You are still suffering. You still live in poverty.
If paper is free,
first we love Nakasanga Muri, so love Nakaka Musa, Musa Damno. Look at us.
What a perekem bush now in Catabuchi.
Train or train wife. To go to Yakumbia to 5 points to Shan, Ocean Takwa, I know Takwa.
It is imperative that the youth in the country should start being innovative and creative, as government cannot manage to employ every citizen. Oscar Piri, reporting for Prime TV News in Solwezi, Northwestern Province.
The Human Rights Commission, HRC, has described as torture the handcuffing of a UPND official battered by suspected Patriotic Front PF cadres in Petauke district. Commission spokesperson Mwelwa Muleya says it is sad that Mike Tembo, who is also a complainant in a case of suspected assault, was treated like a dangerous criminal by Petauke police. Mr. Muleya says the move to handcuff Tembo, who was injured and received treatment, is cruel. Here's a report.
Being a complainant who's bruised and admitted to Petauke General Hospital seemed to have been less punishment for Mike Tembo, a United Party for National Development UPND official. Tembo, who was allegedly battered at the police station by suspected PF cadres, was shocked to have been turned into an accused person. His case has raised concerns with the Human Rights Commission, describing the conduct of police in handcuffing Tembo as torture. Commission spokesperson Mwelwa Muleya says police had better ways of ensuring that Tembo was not a flight risk, if at all they had such fears.
Human Rights Commission were extremely concerned and saddened at the fact that an individual by the name of Michael Tembo who was injured, was handcuffed while in hospital at Petauke General Hospital receiving treatment. He was handcuffed against the bed. That is an act of torture, cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment and punishment. We did not expect officers to handcuff an injured person who is receiving treatment. The worst they could have done was to station an officer to guard him if they at all they suspected that he was a flight risk. But the case he was facing of being possession of a dangerous weapon, we don't think he deserved that kind of treatment, as if he had committed murder, he had committed treason, or that he was an aggravated robbery.
And Mr. Mulea has wondered why police have not apprehended the people who battered Tembo.
So we condemn that act, and we engaged the Zambia Police Command, who also agreed that that was a wrong act, and immediately they are going to reverse it. But above all, we are deeply concerned that perpetrators or assailants of Mr. Tembo remain free up to this time, while him as a victim is being prosecuted. We have no issue with prosecuting him if they thought or suspected that he committed an offense. But our concern is that there was a clear crime committed against him. He was injured, and the perpetrators have been left scot-free. We don't, as a Human Rights Commission, believe that the Zambia Police Service are unable to track down the perpetrators of that crime.
The Human Rights Commission is also in receipt of information that police are questioning how a Prime Television news crew managed to film Tembo while he was handcuffed and admitted to Petauke General Hospital.
And as a Human Rights Commission, we have information that some officers are witch hunting as to how Prime TV managed to speak to the victim, being Mr. Michael Tembo, while in the hospital. I think their concern as government officials, public officers, should be that how was he chained against the bed while receiving treatment, not as to how the media accessed him. The media plays a fundamental role in protecting and promoting human rights and to inform the public about what is happening. You can imagine what more such cases are happening behind the public eye, where people are being abused without the public knowing. It means that people are concerned about the exposure and not the actual, abuse that was taking place in terms of that conduct. We appeal as Human Rights Commission to such officers to stop the witch hunt and also allow the media to freely operate and inform the people.
Tembo has since been dragged to court for alleged possession of dangerous weapons. Mapek Mwenda, Prime TV News.
Meanwhile, Petauke Magistrate Court has adjourned to July 18, 2019, the matter in which 12 UPND members are facing one count of unlawful assembly. Appearing for commencement of trial before Petauke Resident Magistrate are 12 UPND members, all facing one count of unlawful assembly. However, trial could not commence when the 12 appeared before Magistrate Axon Mumba Friday morning, as the defense lawyer Cornelius Mwetwa was not present. Edward Banda has the details in this report.
Petauke Magistrate Court has adjourned the matter in which 12 UPND members are facing one count of unlawful assembly, contrary to Section 74, subsection 1, cap 87 of the Penal Code of the Laws of Zambia. Appearing for the commencement of trial before Petauke Resident Magistrate Axon Mumba on July 5, 2019, was 12 UPND members, all facing one count of unlawful assembly. The trial, however, could not commence on this day as the defense lawyer Cornelius Mwetwa was not present. Magistrate Mumba asked the accused as to why their lawyer was not present in the court. In response, accused number 8, Mike Tembo, told the court that their lawyer was not present in the court due to the reason that his vehicle developed a fault on his way back from Lusaka. The state therefore asked the court to adjourn the matter to July 18, 2019 for the commencement of trial. Magistrate Mumba then adjourned the matter to July 18, 2019, owing to the fact that the defense lawyer was not present and the state had asked the court to adjourn the matter to July 18, 2019. The magistrate, however, asked the state prosecutor as to why the accused persons were released on Thursday, despite him granting them bail on Wednesday. This was after the accused number 8, Mike Tembo, told the court that they were released on Thursday. In response, the state prosecutor told the court that he will investigate the matter as to why the accused were not released on the actual day they were granted bail. Edward Banda, Prime TV News, Petauke, Eastern Province.
Now, President Edgar Lungu has told divisive party members to leave the party if they want, as doors are still open, because the party will not be held to ransom by indiscipline. The seemingly upset head of state told Copperbelt Province Patriotic Front PF leadership to stop nursing squabbles because such a mentality has the potential to destroy the party. President Lungu says those who are of the habit of threatening to leave the PF can freely leave the ruling party. Here's a report.
It is an occasional appearance of members of the Patriotic Front PF and government officials when they gather to welcome President Edgar Lungu in Ndola. Moments after he arrived, top officials delivered their speeches to a euphoric audience.
The workers at KCM were paid, and therefore I want to assure you, Your Excellency, that you should not be moved by those rumor mongers who are saying we have not paid our workers. Your government is a caring government.
When it was time for him to speak, the visibly upset head of state warned officials against divisive tendencies.
Even from PF, where are we now? We're even stronger. But in the body of Fulunganya, body Chena appeal, but don't blackmail the party. Don't blackmail the party because the party is bigger than all of us. And about Tila, spare the road and spoil the child. Umundu kumweva. Na ngumuka na mashani kumweva. Ngatakuwa jali mitemwa, andoika na panshi. Alombero mwelelo, so the party grows stronger. Bakuga na beba kondo, nala fileka, fileke. Will be replaced in no time at all.
President Lungu also talked about his stance on the controversy surrounding Konkola Copper Mines, KCM.
The economic decision we made, we know the legal implications and we are ready to go along with the due process of the law. So don't be cheated and think that we are relenting or we are going to pull back out of our decision. No, we are going ahead. I just hope those who are invoking the law are doing so in good faith, not to frustrate us, because there is a point beyond which we can't go. Now, the way you rush to court that Lungu is being contemptuous, he's talking about the court case. If there's anyone who respects the law in this country, I'm number one, because I'm a lawyer myself.
He's in the Copperbelt Province on official programs in Kitwe and Kalolushi districts. Clive Kalunga, Prime TV News, Ndola.
And now, Kabwe Chamber of Commerce and Industry President Christabel Reinke has urged government to be consistent with economic policies and also research and consult widely before implementing any of such policies. Ms. Reinke was speaking when President Edgar Lungu commissioned the 5-star hotel in Kabwe, which he says will spur growth of the tourism sector in Central Province. Members of the public have, however, wondered why it had to take the president to open a private hotel when they expected him to reopen Mulungushi Textiles as per promise. Mulungushi Textiles in Kabwe was partially opened during the 2016 election campaigns but closed a month later after the elections. Henry Ngosa has the details in this report.
A 5-star Urban Bliss hotel has been opened in Kabwe Central Province. During the grand opening, President Lungu says the hotel will spur growth in the tourism sector in Kabwe and the Central Province at large.
It is also hoped that the hotel will help spur growth in the service sector. In an effort to improve the hospitality sector in the province, I have been made to understand that the hotel has also gone an extra mile to transform the lives of individuals, families, and the community at large here in Kabwe. I have learned that deliberately they looked to local human resource in terms of manpower to build this hotel. All the brickwork here was done by the local people. And indeed, all the concrete mixture here were done by local people without the involvement of advanced equipment. The idea is to keep us in employment. The idea is to keep our jobs working, our people working.
Kabwe Chamber of Commerce and Industry President Christabel Reinke feels policy inconsistency has negatively affected the economy, businesses in the private sector, and is now calling on the government to ensure policy consistency with wide research and consultation before implementation.
We, however, as a business sector, will still call for more policy consistency, and that policies that should be implemented must be well researched on before they are implemented, and to always engage stakeholders before a major policy shift. One of the greatest challenges that our economy is currently faced with right now, Your Excellency, is that the government still remains the biggest employer. And so in the event that the economy faces a hiccup, the impact is felt harder and the recovery period takes longer. So by encouraging the private sector to grow and to employ many people, Your Excellency, our economy will be set on a positive trajectory.
And speaking for Urban Bliss Hotel, Reverend Mervyn Chiyumbe says the hotel is aimed at upholding human dignity through the creation of jobs and fight poverty.
In its quest to complement government efforts, PDH and Urban Bliss Hotel is intentional in restoring people's dignity through job creation in construction and hospitality industry. This will bring about sustainable development and boost economic growth in the province, tourism sector, and the country at large.
Henry Ngosa reporting for Prime TV News in Kabwe, Central Province.
An influx of clients flocked the newly opened Mobile City outlet at Lusaka's Levy Shopping Mall Friday afternoon with promotion of as low as 40 kwacha for each phone. The mobile phone shopping store is running a promotion up to Monday in which it is selling gadgets at a giveaway price. Lusaka Province Minister Bowman Lusam officiated at the newly outlet with a caution on the company management against mistreating workers. Venon Mwema now reports.
It was like a national election at the newly opened Mobile City outlet at Lusaka's Levy Shopping Mall as hundreds rushed to the shop to grab a number of goods which have been pegged at a giveaway price in a promotion which runs up to Monday next week. Among the goods up for grabs are small phones which are going at as low as 40 kwacha and screen protectors going at 1 kwacha each. Lusaka Province Minister Bowman Lusambo officiated the new outlet with this caution.
Caution to you that operating in Lusaka, it's not very easy. Because the minister for Lusaka Province, one, he doesn't tolerate racism. Two, he doesn't want employer like you to mistreat the workers. On that one, we will cross the path.
The company is shocked but also gratified with the unforeseen customer turnout.
Only thing we can say, thank you so much. Okay, we didn't expect this huge crowd, but all we can say, thank you so much. Our aim as Mobile City Phone Spotter is to give each and every person a smartphone, a very, very affordable, genuine as well. Apart from that also, we're looking forward to lower the price of this 40 kwacha phone. Imagine you getting a phone at 25 kwacha. Imagine that. It's going to be an awesome thing. So as Mobile City Phone Spotters, the more Zambian supporters, the more we want to give out to them.
Mobile City is now looking forward to having similar turnouts in future as it hopes to serve according to the customers' expectations. Vernon Muwema, Prime TV News, Lusaka.
Now in sports news, First Division 1 side City of Lusaka head coach Kenneth Malitoli says he is focusing on bringing back the good old days at the club. Malitoli tells Prime TV News Sports that he is confident that with proper planning, the team can retain its prowess. The team is currently conducting trials which Malitoli says will help the club come up with good players. Here's a report.
Football Association of Zambia Division 1 side City of Lusaka Football Club has started preparing for the forthcoming season. With their eyes fixed and focused on playing Super League football again, the team is currently conducting trials to select players that will help the team compete in the season and probably win promotion. The club has further engaged the expertise of former Zambia international Babo Malitoli, who will be in charge as head coach and will be assisted by coaches George Kapempo and Francis Majaka. He tells Prime TV Sports that City of Lusaka can reclaim its status if planning is done well.
Our target is to go from the division where we will be playing and to go into the next division. That's our target. The minimum target is to move out of the division that we are playing in, that we will be playing in. It's all about planning. If we plan properly, there's nothing that is going to stop us. And the planning starts now. And the results, hopefully, we'll see them at the end of the season.
And City of Lusaka Communications manager Alex Njovu says the club is calling on all players that would like to be a part of the trials.
The pre-season has started for most clubs in Zambia, and City of Lusaka has also started. We started our pre-season, I think, last week. So we've started our trials now. The trials are running from this week up to next week. For 2 weeks, we are identifying quality top players that we want to sign ahead of the new season. People who want players, they are free to come with their own players. They can come, their own kit, they can train. The coaches, you know, our head coach, Babu Maritoro, is a legend of the game. He has been around for many years. He played in Tunisia. He played for the Zambian national soccer team, so he knows the quality that we want.
For Prime TV Sports, I'm Humphrey Mwansa in Lusaka.
As we're in the news, a recap of the headlines. ECL's move to open private hotel baffles Kawe residents. Kambwili senses impropriety in Ndola houses demolition. In international news, Sudan military and opposition agree transitional deal. And in sports news, 25 local players summoned to camp ahead of CHAN engagement. On behalf of the entire production team, this has been Luando Billy Checker. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.
Prime Television, Weekend Entertainment just got better. Friday mornings, catch up with the boys, Professor Lance and PMC.